channel and to my kitchen. Today I want to do a Q&A, but you know me, I love to do those whole multitask with me videos. So today I'm going to be decorating Christmas cookies. These are called sand tarts. I will leave the recipe down below. This is one of my favorite Christmas traditions. I grew up with these cookies. They are amazing because you put brown butter icing on them, which is just divine. Anyway, and so I'm gonna be icing these cookies as I answer your questions. So I put a question up on my community tab and ask you all for questions, and be careful what you wish for. I got 20 pages of questions. I went through the first 10 and I picked out some that I wanted to answer. There was a lot of questions about YouTube and about parenting and about marriage and about Mennonite, like being a Mennonite and the Mennonite culture. I realized I have a lot of new subscribers since I did my last Mennonite Q&A, so I will plan to do that again in January, as well as maybe like a marriage one in February, kind of centered around Valentine's Day. I don't know. I'd love to make this a like monthly thing because they are really fun to shoot and easy to shoot. Here I am talking and not getting anything done. But I am making these cookies for, I'm supposed to bring 2.5 dozen cookies to Josh's brother's wedding, which is, well, by the time you watch this, I think it'll be over with. Depends how long it takes to get this edited. Josh has 5 siblings, and so the 4th one in the row is getting married. So there's 6 kids in all in that family. And then in my family, there's 5 of us, and I'm the oldest. And Josh happens to be the oldest as well. So we're both oldest. But anyway, having like a Christmas time wedding, I thought, you know, let's do some sand tarts. They're so good with coffee. Definitely check the recipe out down below. Also, I'll link my sweater as well. It is so pretty. My 4-year-old just thinks it's the prettiest thing ever. So before we jump into these questions, if you're new, a little bit about me. I have a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a newborn, and I live in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania with my husband. He owns his own construction business, and we also have I have my own brand and my own website, and my brand is called Fox Sparrow. We sell all kinds of handmade products. Right now we're almost out of stock on a lot of stuff, so hoping to restock in the new year. Anyway, let's get into these questions here. You'll learn more about me as we go if you're new. In what ways do you remember to show yourself grace, and how does Josh help during postpartum now that you've got a 3rd new baby? This cracks me up. I actually got a couple comments like this on Instagram too. It seems that people think that Josh doesn't help with the housework. No guys, he definitely helps. But it is my priority and my main thing, not because I'm a Mennonite woman and I'm like strapped in the house. Yes, that is kind of like a tradition or like a culture thing where the women do a lot of the housework, but that is because we see the importance of mothers, you know, taking care of their children. And so most of us do, if we can afford it, you know, we are stay-at-home moms. And I understand anytime I'm going to address this topic, it's going to rub some people the wrong way. You can be a good mom and a working mom, okay? But I definitely think there is a lot of value in being home with your kids and raising your kids firsthand. But that's a choice that every mom has to make for themselves. And so I'm not telling you what to do. But yes, I stay at home and take care of the kids. And I also have the privilege of working from home, which is awesome because I get to like film and make YouTube videos for you guys. But anyway, Josh does help around the home, but I still do the bulk of it because I'm the one that's at home. You know, if he was the one that was at home with the kids, then he would be doing most of it. But he helps a lot with, he'll throw laundry in and out of the dryer for me. He'll help me fold it in the evenings. He's been doing a lot more housework lately with just having a baby and all. I need more help, you know, I'm so busy, and in the evenings, yeah, it's just nice to have his help a little bit. And I hate loading and unloading the dishwasher, so he's always pretty nice about doing that for me if he's around in the evenings. And yeah, just general, I mean, we tag team it, we go back and forth. It's not like it's like I must always do everything. I usually am the one to do the dishes and stuff like that, but yeah, there's no like set rule or anything. But yes, that is a typical Mennonite thing, I would say. Most Mennonite moms are doing the majority of the housework, but it makes sense. We're the ones that are at home. And I would love to delve into that topic more. I actually have a video on it a little bit about like the whole mommy culture and judging each other and stuff. And so I don't want you to feel that I'm coming from a place of judgment if you are not a stay-at-home mom. It's not an opportunity that everybody gets to have, and it's not even an opportunity that everybody even wants. And that's between you and your husband and God. Yeah, not my business. And the second part of that question, how do you show yourself grace? Well, I hold myself to pretty high standard a lot of the time, but I have been trying with this 3rd one to show myself grace There are seasons of life where I wake up on a Monday morning and for the week I'm like, okay, what do I want to do today? You know, I always have a list of things I want to get done. You know, what do I want to do today? What do I want to get off the list? And then some seasons of life, like this week, is just what do I have to get done that the world doesn't come crashing in or that there's not serious repercussions, and then I just do that thing. Like right now there's so many things I should be doing, but I'm just gonna do what needs to happen. You know, sometimes my chore list just tells me what I have to do. It's not like I get to choose. This has to get done or else. And that's not always a fun place to be in. I try to avoid that as much as possible. But being with having a newborn and stuff, it definitely makes your priorities shift a little bit, and you realize that some things are maybe not as important as you thought, and you just let some things go, you know, like maybe having the house spotless and stuff like that, or taking your kids to the park every day or something like that. You just take it a little slower and understand that it's a season and it'll pass. Would love to hear the story behind your newest baby's name. I love talking about baby names, but let's make this really quick. I have Evonnie Sage, Fletcher Vaughn, and then our new baby is named Miller Hayes. And he was gonna be Palmer for a while because I just love that name. I thought it was so cute. But I saw it was rising on the charts for girls, and I was like, oh no, that would be I don't want him to go to school with a little girl in his class named Palmer, and his name is Palmer too, you know. And I saw it was rising for girls on the charts. It's a last name. Josh loves to golf. There's a golfer back in the day, his name was Arnold Palmer, and so I thought that was kind of like a very subtle, fun reference. And clearly we love last names as first names because we have a Fletcher. Anyway, when we realized that we were not going to do Palmer, I was like discouraged, and it went a couple weeks, like I was like 30-some weeks pregnant, and we still didn't have a name for sure. And I was reading through different last names as first names, like lists, you know, and I didn't want an ER name, but when I came across the name Miller, Josh was like, Miller, I like it. And I couldn't get him off of it to, you know, the whole way up to the end. I liked the name, I really did, but he was the one that was like, yep, that's the one he likes. And I am a firm believer that my husband needs to sign off on the names of his sons. I mean, yes, his daughters too, but specifically his sons, I want him to name his sons. Anyway, so Miller it was, and I love it even more now than I did when we named him that. And he is definitely a little Miller. And so, yeah, that's not really a very exciting story. And Hayes is just a last name I've always loved too. Last name is first name, and I like the Z sound, and it just had a nice ring to it. It sounded manly, so Miller Hayes Fox, it is. Oh my goodness, I just realized I made this like neon pinky orange color for the foxes, and then I turned the little circle ones into the orange ones. So now, am I gonna do pink foxes? I don't know. We're gonna save those to the end, and then I'll decide. Grrr! See, I'm being distracted. I like to do each shape their own color, so it's kind of cohesive. I don't know. I guess I was not paying attention. Ooh, guys, do you love homemaking content? I love homemaking content. I love filming it. Here's a fun question. What is your least favorite part of your house to clean? And then also somebody asked, what is your favorite or most satisfying task? And so I would say my least favorite thing to clean for sure is showers and tubs. They're just so aggravating. They don't get clean. Like, you literally have to clean them over and over again. Like, there's stages to it. It's just annoying. And I feel like they're never perfectly clean, especially with our old house. We have one bathroom renovated so far, but not the other one yet. So yeah, I do not enjoy cleaning showers at all. And then the most satisfying, who can relate? Let me know down below. My favorite chore to do for sure is to, I don't know if it's a chore, but yeah, tidy up the kitchen, put everything away, you know, light a candle, you know, run the Robo-Rock, get the floor clean, but maybe not do all the dusting and little things like that. And there's the baby. You know, in the summer, maybe set out a bouquet of flowers, or in the winter, set out a new candle, light that. Yeah, just something new to sit out. Maybe you have like a new butter dish or something, I don't know, something really small like that, and it just feels fresh and new and clean again. And you know, maybe the kids are down for their naps, and I'll like turn the lights off, and the whole kitchen will just feel so peaceful and satisfying. I just love that. I don't know if that's really a task, but it's definitely something that's very fulfilling and something I enjoy doing. And it's something that if I feel like my life is whirling around and I can't get everything done and I'm just feeling overwhelmed, that's the thing I focus on, like the kitchen, and make it feel just homey and cleaned up and orderly. And yeah, it just does wonders for my soul. I don't know when I became like that, because I wasn't like, I'm still not a neat freak, but I definitely wasn't a neat freak growing up either. But that's something that is just good for the soul, to concentrate on one small area. And I have a whole video on sneaky time-saving tips, like in busy seasons. and it's about prioritizing and different little tricks and stuff like that. So definitely watch that video if you haven't. This is a hysterical question. I don't know what this means, but in a recent episode of the Wine About Birth podcast, they mentioned that one of their clients who had 5 kids sipped a chlorophyll drink during birth to prevent after pains. They said only their Mennonite clients did this. Have you heard of this? I have not. That sounds very interesting. But I had the most amazing, okay, amazing is maybe an overstatement, but I had the best like postpartum experience at the hospital, I would say, this time around, because I didn't tear at all, and I just felt really good. He did not sleep very good. He was one of the worst sleepers at the very beginning. He had his days and nights mixed up for like 3 days. So that was really hard. I was really, really tired and like exhausted, and like we got home to the hospital, I just would cry about anything, and now looking back, it was my hormones probably settling down and the lack of sleep. But yeah, I had a really good postpartum, like whatever that's called at the hospital. That part was really much easier than other times. But I would say it was the hardest, which is a question I got again here several times. It was definitely the hardest transitioning from 2 to 3, which is what they always say, and I always just rolled my eyes. I'm like, whatever, that's just what they have to say. But no, it was, and I think it's just because I was never enough. I was never a good mom and a good wife and a good housekeeper and a good business person. You know, I never was good at everything at once. I just had to pick 1 or 2 of them and just let the rest go, you know, daily, just decide what I was going to focus on. You see all the cookies. Anyway, and so yeah, that was hard for sure. And yeah, you just can't be enough with 3 kids. You have to just learn, and you know, now we found a new rhythm. And a question was, what is one of the biggest changes now that you've had 3 kids? And what I wanted to say about that was, I feel like my 2-year-old has grown up so much. Maybe not even himself growing up that much, but in the way I view him, like he's just, I lump him in with Evonnie now. Like the 4-year-old and the 2-year-old, they go and they play or they do whatever. I get them to do more chores. He's not the baby anymore, and so that definitely feels a lot different than what I was used to. But yeah, I would say that's a good change. Okay, I'm gonna lay him down and see if he'll be happy. I'll be right back. How do you balance your time between social media and screens and real life? And now that is definitely a question that's worth addressing. I talked about it in past videos. We all have our own vices and things that distract us from things that really matter, and screens is definitely one of those for a lot of people. For myself, can I just say the key word is curate. Like, don't follow 100 million people on Instagram. Don't be subscribed to every YouTube channel out there. You know, pick what you want, and when you see something come across your feed or your screen that you're like, you know, it's just a waste of my time, or it's not lifting me up, or it's not educating me or informing me in any way, it's just not something I want to see, you know, unfollow or silence them, or yeah, I don't know. And maybe that's gonna, I shouldn't even say that, I'm a YouTuber, now I'm gonna lose subscribers, but you know what, that's fine. Everybody needs to be very, very protective of their time, because we only have so much of it, and when you have a family, it's so hard. It is so hard to make time for it all. And so if you find yourself really being on Instagram a lot or YouTube, I will say like my watch time on YouTube is pretty high, I would think, because I listen to a lot of YouTube while I work. When I see like a good sit down chit chatty, you know, video like this one even, I will put it in my watch later folder, and then I would come back to it. And like if I wasn't talking to you now, I'd probably be having like a YouTube podcast playing, or yeah, just a sit down Q&A type of video or something. I really enjoy that. And then I save my things that I want to watch, like really aesthetic vlogs or like home interior stuff that you want to watch. I save that for the shower. Yeah, I know, I'm weird. Whatever, don't knock until you tried it. When I'm taking a shower, I know it's some people's favorite place to think. It is my favorite place to unwind. But yeah, that's really the only time I'm sitting there, and I'm not even sitting, I'm standing in the shower. That's like really the only time I'm like watching something. How do I do it? Well, it takes discipline, 1. 2, you have to want to. I mean, yeah, that's for sure. You could set limits on your phone, I guess, like amount of time you're allowed to be on it. You could try deleting the app and then bringing it back up again. I don't know. For me, I've just found that like Instagram is too much tied to like work, that I don't just feel like sitting down and scrolling. I will do that. Actually, the most I'm ever on Instagram is when we go on a trip. I will often scroll through Instagram like the whole way through everything, and maybe even look in the Explore tab and stuff when we're on trips, like driving somewhere. That is my time to do that. I find all kinds of inspiration, and again, follow the people that are important to you, and you will feel uplifted and better after being on Instagram and not the other way around. Yeah, just be very intentional about it, I would say. And speaking of intentionality, I had another question. Yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys what I think so you guys can help hold me accountable too. She says, I'm curious about the thought process that justifies sharing your children publicly online. What would your response be to those that are advocating that family vlogging is exploitative, especially when the goal is to work with sponsorships, affiliate links, and essentially capitalize from sharing these family moments publicly online? So first of all, exploiting kids. For instance, when you have a paid ad or certain links available in your videos or blogs where your children's image is being used, what are your thoughts on the children being entitled to some of those sales being made? Okay, second of all, do they get paid? I do not have any personal convictions on what is right or wrong here. I've heard the side of those that advocate against the public use of children online, but I'm curious to hear from those that have chosen this line of income. I'm also trying to discern my own engagement with this type of content, so your thoughts are appreciated on this topic. And this is definitely something that I've been following. Yeah. It's definitely a topic that I am very passionate about, and if there's any other YouTubers out there or people that are like on social media, I just want to encourage us all to be very intentional and like just not let things happen, actually think where your boundaries are. And now I will tell you what I think. First of all, I never want my channel to, like, I don't think you guys come here for my kids. My kids are a huge part of my life, but I only show them if it's like enhancing a point or like showing how my day is and stuff like that. It's not centered around their lives. You don't really know much about their personalities, their day to day. I am very careful that if I would 100% cut my kids out cold turkey, which could maybe be a law in the future or something, that my channel would not suffer. Sure, it might lose a little pizzazz, a little sparkle. You know, you can't really explain some things without actually showing it or modeling it. But I'm careful that this channel, I chose to do YouTube, not my family, not my kids, although, you know, Josh is super supportive of it and everything. But yeah, so that's my first goal, is to make sure that my channel is Megan Fox Unlocked and not like our whole family. But the family is a small part of it. And then second of all, should your kids be paid a little bit? This question cracks me up because 100% of my money goes to my kids. My goal at first was to just try to get my daughter some school tuition money piled up a little bit before she starts school, because we want to send our kids to a Christian private school, and they're not cheap. They're not cheap. And so that was the goal at first, and then my YouTube channel took off. This is another thing that I feel very passionately about, and it might be a Mennonite concept, it might not be, but like the whole lifestyle creep. If we make more money, then we need more stuff, and like, you know, that type of thing. I just really don't want that. I feel like we are good where we're at, and I really don't want us to have to bust our chops to try to, like, you know, continue enhancing our lifestyle more and more. Our kids are happy and content and safe. I don't think we need to, you know, be spoiling them any more than they already are. I mean, we already get a trip to Florida every year for 2 weeks. That's like such a unnecessary blessing. Like, it's so nice. Like, I look forward to that all year long, and it's such a privilege. I love it. But that being said, that's all out of Josh's money. I don't know why I'm telling you this, but I don't know. We're all nosy, right? And I don't have a problem telling you. But yeah, all of that money is sitting in a bank account, and now we realize that's probably not very smart with inflation. You know, my money's actually losing value. My money, the YouTube money, is actually losing value with inflation and stuff. So we're looking into maybe buying a rental property or something to try to, you know, not have so much liquid money sitting in the bank, and to try to like invest a little bit. And with Josh's skill set and stuff, I think that would be a really good option. And then we can use the rent that's coming in to pay for school tuition and stuff like that. But yes, my kids are getting paid because 100%. Josh just showed up. He scared me to death. He comes around the corner. Oh, there's my lighter. Yes. I wanted to light a candle for some aesthetic here.
How are the cookies?
You can have one.
Which one?
I mean, I'm supposed to take 36 of them, I think. 30. So it doesn't matter. Just take an ugly one.
Which one's ugly?
I forgot, and the foxes are supposed to be orange, and I made the round ones orange. And so now what color do I make the foxes? Green?
Sure.
Maybe I'll do them white and then put like orange sprinkles on or something. Anyway, somebody asked if our kids get paid for being on YouTube, so I'm explaining. how do you go about your quiet time with the Lord while taking care of 3 kids? Okay, first of all, I'm gonna tell you what I do, but then I also want you to remember, if you are a new mom or just had a baby or you have a lot of kids or something, there are seasons of life, and please don't beat yourself up or feel guilty. If you're not having as much of a regular devotional time or Bible time as you did, before the kids, there's seasons of life, guys. We do our best, right? But right now, I started reading through the Bible in a year, in January, and I am a very goal-oriented person. And I will stay on track no matter what, because if I get behind, then I have to read double, and it takes forever, and I don't enjoy it at all, and I don't get anything out of it because I'm just reading to cover mileage, So I 100% try to stay on track as much as possible. If I get behind a day, I catch it up the next day. I never get behind more than a day. And the way I do that is I'm sitting down and I'm feeding my baby. So usually the 8 o'clock feed in the morning is when I'm reading the passages. I use the Bible recap, and then I will listen to the podcast that explains it a little bit while I'm getting ready. I'll just put an AirPod in and listen to it while I'm combing my hair and all that stuff. And so that's just kind of a routine that's built in, and I'm very incentivized to do it because I have never read through the Bible the whole way of my life, and that was a huge, major goal I put on my vision board for this year that I really wanted to do, and I'm doing it, and I'm so proud of myself, and I have never, ever been so consistent with my devotional time, and I proved to myself that I can do it, and now it's like, what am I going to do next year? I'm not going to read through the Bible again for various reasons that I'll talk about in next week's video, so come back for that video if you want to see what I'm planning. But yeah, I really impressed myself, honestly. I've never been so consistent in such a busy season of life with my devotional time. So I think what does it is I have a goal, I have a calendar that I need to follow, and I also have some accountability because Josh's cousin and I are both going through it together, and she can see if I didn't do it. Not that she's on me or anything, but it's just incentive to know somebody can see if you skip it or not. And your devotional time does not save you, okay? But it definitely makes you a better person, and it definitely makes life not easier, but it makes life better. So definitely I encourage you to try to make time for it, even if it's just a small amount, and maybe make accountability buddy to help you out. And if nothing else, can you try audiobooks in the shower or something like that? We all take a shower. And if you have problems remembering to do your devotions, perhaps you could habit stack and connect it to something else. Every time you pull out your toothbrush, you turn on your audio Bible, or every time you sit down in that certain chair to drink your coffee, you're pulling out your Bible. Something that you're already doing faithfully every day, tack that onto it. I would love to know if your YouTube and owning your own business success has affected your friendships in day-to-day life or your ability to make new friends. Okay, so I addressed this before. I'm not the primary breadwinner. Josh makes the money. My stuff is just the YouTube buddy. Sorry, I keep saying my, but we're married, so it's all of our money. But the YouTube bank account is not what we live off of or anything like that, because I don't own YouTube and it can be taken away right like that. Speaking of which, if I ever just disappear because of YouTube or something, I don't know, I have a website, meganfoxunlocked.com. Check me out over there. I own that domain, so I can tell you what happened to me or where I'm at if I ever just disappear. Let me get the baby. I could baby wear him right now, but I want him to be awake, and he always falls asleep every time I put him in the wrap. So I'm just gonna hold him here till Josh can come up and get him, and I'll get these cookies finished. Who has been the biggest helper with the new baby, Evonnie or Fletcher? Definitely Evonnie. She's such a help. She loves to hold him, and she can run things. Fletcher runs and gets things for me too, but Evonnie especially is just such a big help. 4-year-olds are such a big help. And if I would have a baby again in 2 years, and I have a 6-year-old, I can't imagine how. I'm sure the third one has to be the hardest, especially if you have them every 2 years, with a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a newborn. And we got through it, right? We got through it. I mean, he's still waking up twice a night, so hopefully that cuts down soon. My baby's usually all slept through the night around 8 weeks, so we'll see if he does the same thing. I can't tell if I'm sensitive or if I just think some of you sound so snarky with your questions. Listen to this one. Sometimes it seems like you live from checklist to checklist, or often move, rush to the next thing. Is this for video purposes, or do you normally live like that? Do you think it comes from wanting to be in control, anxiety, or organization, etc.? I used to be the same way, but had to make changes after having kids and giving in to the mess and non-planning. So that sounds super snarky, but then that just goes to show you cannot ever pick up emotions and feelings through text or typing, because then she says, no hate, just an honest question as I struggle with not getting things done. So she came from a very good place there. Honestly, yes, that's me. I live off of lists. I don't know if this is from me being a school teacher or maybe just me being forgetful or very like, I have a lot of ADHD tendencies, especially the hyperactivity part, which is why I'm probably very, I just feel like I'm very scattered. Sometimes if I'm not putting things on paper, I love to be organized because it just gives me a sense of peace. And so I think it comes from being kind of scattered and kind of hyperactive. And so yes, I do live off of lists. I do. Even before YouTube, even if it's not a YouTube video, I'm living off of lists. But I will say, if I'm doing like a homemaking video or something, it seems like I'm just doing one thing after the other. But pay attention, how many times am I filming over a couple days? Or how many times am I, turning off the camera because I'm sitting down to feed the baby or to read a book to my kids or something like that. You're not seeing everything at all. Just remember sometimes my vlogs have a theme to them, so I'm kind of showing you, what I'm doing, right? YouTube is not an accurate portrayal of like the percentages of time that I'm doing certain things. I do relax some too, but yes, I do live off of lists, honestly, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'll always be a planner girl, I think. I just love the satisfaction of crossing something off, and if you're not that way, totally fine. You can be very organized, and you can get a lot done without a list too. Just, I can't. I need a list. How do you know when you're ready for more children? Currently have a 6-month-old and desire a larger family, but just unsure when to have another. How do you know? Guys, speak up, tell me. How do you know? I don't know. I just, for myself, I knew I wanted to have my kids while I was still young. So I should preface this by saying, with all 3 of my pregnancies, I don't get sick. I feel pretty great after having a baby. The labors go well too, so I don't deal with a lot of trauma in that department. And so, the memories of the pain of labor and stuff fade pretty quickly, and I feel pretty good pretty soon after. And this is another thing, Mennonites often have, I keep saying Mennonites, but basically when I say Mennonite, like, yes, we're Christians, we follow the Bible and everything, but it's also very much a culture. And most of my friends and family are Mennonite, and so when I say Mennonites, I'm talking about my culture. So in my culture, most women, they get married and have a baby in about 2 years, if they can have children, whatever. That's about when it is. I was a school teacher, and so I was loving teaching school, and I didn't actually get pregnant, or we didn't even start trying to get pregnant till we were married for 4 years. So I was 24 when I had Evonnie, and that sounds really young. That sounds really young to have your first kid. Why do I feel so old? But yeah, I had friends who were 20 and having their first kid, so and it does vary. It really does. Like my mom waited 4 years to have me too, so it varies. I also, I realized if I want to have my kids when I'm 35 and younger, I better stay on the ball, So I don't know if I'll have more or not. You never ask a mom after she just had a baby if she's having more, because the answer is always, I can't handle anymore right now. That's exactly how we all feel right after having a baby. It just seems like too much. But yes, I think Lord willing, we probably have, I'm not even gonna say, we'll see. We'll see. If you were following my journey, we did have to try a little while for our 3rd baby. Josh, how do you know when you're ready for more children?
I don't know.
He just had a baby too, so you never ask somebody right after they had a baby. Oh, when you look at him, then you just decide you need to have more. Yeah, if they're all so cute and sweet. Yeah.
I just called that guy that owns that house over here after I made an offer on it.
Really exciting. We heard that here first. We'll see. Yay! My question is around getting started with a small shop or business. How did you know where to start? Due with my first in March and would love to use my leave to start a side hustle. Wow, you're ambitious. Love it. YouTube everything. There is the answer for everything on YouTube. I get people asking me questions all the time. How do you do this? How do you do that? And I usually am so unhelpful and I say, Google it on YouTube or search it on YouTube. Like the exact thing you want to know. How to add motion graphics to a video on DaVinci Resolve 15 or whatever. Like literally that specific, and see what comes up. Yeah, I did that for every little question, and I am so untechy. Too bad Josh isn't here. He would laugh if he was here, because I am very, very technologically challenged. And if I can do it, you can do it. If you're thinking of doing anything online, building your own website, something like that. I did not build my own website. Josh's cousin's husband did that for me, and I was so thankful because it saved me so much time and so much grief. I'm sure I would have done a bunch of things wrong, but that's the beauty of like learning. You have to be willing to make some mistakes along the way, and that's just how it is. Just curious, does Josh's family live far away? We do not see them or hear much about them. Sorry, I hope this is not too intrusive of a question. Ooh, drama. No, it is not drama. There's no drama at all. Yes, Josh's parents, we used to live really close to them, and then we moved 20 minutes north, and they moved like 30 minutes south. And so now we live like 50 minutes from each other. But yeah, we see them not as much as my family, because my family lives like 2 minutes away, all of us. Josh's family is a little bit more scattered. But yeah, you don't really see much of either of our families on YouTube. What would be your go-to skirts and dresses that a lady can buy to start wearing more dresses and less pants? I made a whole video on this, so definitely check it out, whatever side it's on there, and I'll link it down below if I remember. But I would definitely say a black skirt, I'm wearing one right now, and make sure that whatever black skirt you get, that it's long enough. If you're going from pants to dresses, you're not gonna know how to sit very ladylike. There's definitely an art to wearing a skirt. Yeah, you start to realize that, wow, you sit very differently and you behave differently when you're dressed up more ladylike. And that's a good thing, I think. Whatever, I mean, maybe you think it's uncomfy or something, but I think it's a good thing. You know, when you have your hair combed and you're dressed up a little bit, you carry yourself differently. And so, yeah, I kind of like that. But yeah, I would definitely say a black skirt is a must. Make sure it's long enough. And then just like a dress with a fun pattern that feels very you. It'll make you want to wear it more. And make sure it fits well and it like doesn't have a gaping neck or like you're ruching things around or the sleeves. Like make sure it's really, really easy and not a lot of stress to wear it, because then you won't wear it. But yeah, that whole video has so many more ideas and helpful tips if you're transitioning, if you're looking to transition to wearing less pants and more skirts and dresses. And I should address that in the Mennonite Q&A coming up about why I wear skirts and dresses. So I should remember that for that video. How do you keep yourself motivated and so productive? It's a personality thing. And also, I think I was raised that way. We lived on a farm. My parents were busy people. We learned to work hard. That I like to chalk up to my Mennonite heritage as well. Like, we're largely a hardworking culture. There's such a thing as working too much, for sure, and so you have to be careful not to fall into that ditch as well. But yeah, it's just something ingrained in me, and I don't really know how to explain it. And no, not even all my siblings or Josh's siblings are that way, so yeah, it's probably more of a personality thing than a Mennonite thing, and it's not always a good thing. So if you're not as driven as me, just remember you probably have other qualities that I don't have, like a caring heart and listening to people. I mean, I have a caring heart, and I do listen to people, but I think that's something I struggle with sometimes when I have an agenda and I have things I gotta get done, and when somebody bumps me off my plan or wants a listening ear or something, I'm not as quick to see that opportunity because I'm so focused on the next thing. And so, yeah, whatever personality you have, be aware of your flaws, but also be aware of your strengths too. And yeah, don't always look at other people and think they have it all together, because they don't. As your audience increases and popularity grows, goodness, is that what's happening? How do you maintain a humble attitude and lifestyle? Does your church and or friends and family keep you accountable? That's the beauty of YouTube in so many ways. You don't, like, you might see a number, like how many subscribers or how many views the video got, but you can't really feel that. You know, it's not like you're going to a stadium, like maybe a music artist would, and seeing like fans in the crowd screaming your name and stuff like that. You don't get that experience being on YouTube, and it's actually a really good thing. I mean, like I thought about doing a meetup already, just because I selfishly would love to meet all of you or some of you, and like, I mean, I get to meet you on Instagram and through the comments section here and stuff like that, but not like really in real life, just sit and chat. I think that would be so fun to do that. But on the other hand, I'm really glad, like, I can't feel, I mean, and I am still a relatively small channel in the whole scheme of things, but I can't really feel all that attention or, what did she say, popularity or whatever. I don't feel that at all. My friends are still the friends that I had before I started YouTube. Yeah, it's not really a tangible thing that I even can feel. I said that already, but you know what I'm saying. And somebody did say, was your church that you grew up at more conservative or less conservative than now, and how did you know which church to attend? And that is a great question that I want to answer in another video coming up in the future. I definitely want to talk more about growing up Mennonite, finding a church, my testimony, those kind of things. But I won't do that while I'm icing cookies. I want to put some more thought into that and stuff. So we will do that another time. Thank you guys so much for watching. I wish I could give you all a cookie, but it's not gonna happen. Subscribe if you just found my channel and can stand my scratchy voice and my fast talking, because I'd love to have you around. I do a lot of homemaking content and just Mennonite mom stuff. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone.